So, seeing the title, it's talking Terrence Howard a little bit, and there's so many things going off right now. All right, so it's talking Terrence Howard. So much popping on my screen. All right, talking Terrence Howard a little bit. I didn't get a chance to see the second joint he did when they had Weinstein up there or whatever. But what I know about Terrence Howard is that, and the people not really paying attention to what the brother's saying, like he basically explaining that the flower of life is three, four, five, and six dimensional on, and how it's created from the inside out. It shows the existences of life and the intelligence of what could take place within that time frame of life. So with each nodule that's connecting, formulating the flower of life, it's explaining where the knowledge could be within this existence, meaning the capabilities of what we can do in this existence. And the plant life, all praise due to the Most High. Peace, brother. What's going on? Good to see you in here. Peace, peace, love. Um, and to have the reminders of plant life and everything else around you to remind you of the possibilities that would be different. And even when Terrence came together and he put together that aerial aspect of what he created and the understanding of his mathematical sacred geometry with the flower of life was phenomenal. It was the aspect of it was beautiful. It was something that um, everybody should actually take form. And he's explaining something that most scientists don't actually have the understanding on. When they see when you look at a molecule or a cell, I can't remember these photons, right? Initially, before they pass through an explosive um, transmutation aspect, which when they can be used for energy, they're together, they're combined. It's like it's a white part over here, it's a black part over here, it's a white part of the black part, it's a black part on the other side of the white part. It's like a square, and then they get pushed through this type of fusion aspect there where the energy can be used, right? It disperses, it explodes, like, and it shows off like so much amount of energy that can be used, like for whatever, like for life itself. But when that happens, the cube separates into four pieces. The cube separates into four pieces, and they don't know how to bring it back together or why it was together in the first place. So the Terrence is explaining that we all can come together on a moleculic level and come together and be more in tune with different placements on the scale of the flower of life and existence. That's what it's explaining. But then you got to keep in mind, well, I think Terrence is at an innocent aspect. He's just being innocent as far as the knowledge that he's showing. He doesn't have like no malice towards no one in the world. He's coming and he's looking at it from the aspect of the natural, the natural life law, the law of life, the law of nature. He's coming from that aspect that everything is congruent in that understanding. But the difference is there's a lot of energies that are not connected no more, and it explains itself in its own value. And this is why they don't want to really break down the concept of when Terrence is talking about the one plus one equals a lot more. It's like if I take one seed and I plant that one seed in the ground, that tree can give me a numerous amount of seeds, right? So they don't want to change the one plus one equals two because that's death. One body can be transmuted into another body. Look at the Matrix. The Matrix even told you it was like, yo, the bodies are intravenously being liquidized and turned into, fuel for new human beings. One body for another body. Nowadays, like we human beings ain't being birthed no more; they're being grown. So these concepts of reality, even look at the life of value, how we value things. Like the price of $1 is worth this. You know what I mean? One for this. Everything is a one-on-one or a value that's made. And without that structure, that mathematical structure, they don't have this form of existence. But theirs is based off death. Like look at Frankenstein. One piece from this person can add to this man to make him something different. They've been trying to add more, but they can't do that out of death. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta comprehend when somebody's giving away their soul, they giving away their light. They are separate from that everything aspect of divine union, of the flower of life, of the fact that everything is connected. And this is what most of the powers that be are trying to keep in conjunction. That is the remake into that form of an image. That mathematical probability is to lean off of everything that's inanimate. Look how we praise everything that's dead. If it ain't moving, you can put a price tag on it. You know what I'm saying? If it's moving, you got laws and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for the most part, like anything that come from the breakdown, they make it, valuable. Look at stones and diamonds coming out of the earth. Polish them up. Tell you they're $1,000,000, you're gonna buy it. That's just the reality. Animals, they dead. That's when they meat tastes good. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't see nobody running around here biting on no live animal out the woods. You ain't gonna just go jump on a deer and gnaw on his neck. You know what I'm saying? Like think about it. Even with the zombie movies, they make that look like never. Like you must be a zombie if you eating raw meat, right? I ain't saying to go eat raw meat. I'm talking about the concept. It's just the reality behind it. And Terrence know that's the division aspect that they using to keep us in the form of the mathematical understanding of where we live. The math goes with the reality. So as long as we put in our universal work that multiplies by 1,000, we can receive one as long as we stay with this plan, the system of things. So you will put in abundance amount of energy that's worth millions and millions of ones, but you'll only receive one back for a particular section of that energy. And that accumulates for you to have what you call a paycheck. Terrence is like, nah, that's not right. The math ain't mathing. My one should equal a lot. The one I put in should give me back a lot because trees do that, and I'm a natural being of the system of things. And that's what Terrence is talking about. It kind of goes over everybody's head. This is the simplest form to actually explain it because the math is basically leaning on the understanding that you're gonna recoup nothing from death, and you're gonna die in the process of doing it. That's insurance. I ensure that I still reap value off of your life existence. For that one, I will reap your many. Think about what I'm saying. This is why they sit there and they put that in. You like a bank yourself. So they know you multiply, but I'll never pay you for your multiplication. That's the problem with the system that we living in today. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get a chance to watch the second joint Terrence did, but I already know his math. I already know where he going with it. And he coming at it. He coming at a innocent aspect. And the knowledge is pure and it's clean, but at the end of the day, I don't think he comprehend what he's going up against because he's asking the opposing that put this in motion to come together. And I understand that's a beautiful thing, but if their agenda is to keep you from not even understanding this, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? It's not good. I comprehend all his energy and he actually handled it right. I could feel the frequency. I know he handled it right. You know what I'm saying? Like he's going about trying to be connected with people in this particular value. But it's always going to be that opposing energy, and they're going to seek to make him out to be a fool because they don't want the truth to come out. It's not about the truth coming out. It's about you knowing that this system is not to serve you, and it brings you more discomfort. It brings you more of that energy that goes against the economic value. So the misfortune of the economic value is what keeps you entangled in it. That's the slavery. The fact that you're unfortunate, that means you have to go through the steps that's available just to try to obtain, which keeps you a slave of the system. But if my one equaled a lot more, just like one seed, one pine cone, one of these pine cones fall out the tree. Each one of those layers on that pine cone has a seed in it. So it's not just a bunch that comes from this tree. Each pine cone produces a whole bunch of seeds, and this tree produces a bunch of pine cones. So it's levels to this. That means the energy that we have can multiply in so many different aspects. and it can serve so many different purposes. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna give you what that's worth. I'm not gonna give you the multiplication value of how much your energy can multiply. I could care less. You're just gonna do what I tell you, and I'm gonna pay you what I want. That's what Terrence is talking about. The math ain't math. This is why they was dropping it before, and they was saying, yo, your your fiat currency and all that. When they was trying to get you to understand about what these things were, it's because you're putting in more energy than it's worth. You're giving out. If you knew the BTUs that a human body can produce, the electrical energy that you put out, and then compare that with the energy that you got to pay in your light bill, and ask me, is your work ethic the same thing that you paying every month on the light bill? It's gonna start dawning on you soon. You're gonna be like, yo, I put out this much energy. The problem is I just don't know what my energy is worth. Well, if you don't know what your energy is worth, look how energy is being used, and you tell me what your energy is worth. Because you live for almost 140 years. It starts to get deep. It starts to get deep. That's why people don't want to have this particular conversation, because the average person don't have this understanding. You know what I'm saying? And because this understanding is not available, I can tell you whatever I want and give you whatever satisfies you, and you're going to go with it. But Divine gave you everlasting energy for you to comprehend what that was, so that can keep replenishing you, and you can keep recreating the value of what creation is going to be at its highest scale. Terrence Howard manifested into his innocence and got pure universal knowledge out of it. They know that he's the complete opposite of the energy that they're bringing. So what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to destroy the baby. Keep in mind what I'm saying. This is the format. It don't look like what this is, but he's in an innocent energy like an infant. And they already know the place he's in, the reason why he's able to tap into this particular type of knowledge. So their next thing to do is to rip him from that feeling. Even though he's an adult, is to try to shock the shit out of him, out of that feeling. And that's the thing that keeps us in bondage. Protection is needed for the brother to grow, and he needs to get with the right people to grow this energy out. If it's not going to be in a particular place, we shouldn't even turn to individuals who's not there to serve that particular purpose. They can have whatever they want in their existence, because in this world, the energy on both sides of the coin exists. So plentiful is one energy, that's fine. Well, make our energy plentiful somewhere else and let that reign supreme. It's not like you can take over every space in existence. So it's not even about ownership, because everything has already been done. There's no creation in the universe that hasn't been shown on you already. It's comprehending what to do with the energy that's already been available. So you're always gonna have people trying to hold on to the control aspect, and you have to understand it's not being controlled that's at fault. It's the act of controlling that's at fault. The power to be able to control is up for grabs. So once that right there breaks, control doesn't happen no more in existence. Period. It's over. You won't see nothing being controlled ever again. Because control is an essence in itself, and it has to have a probability to have it come into fruition. So it starts to speak to the mathematical value being wrong. If I'm teaching you math, what does that mean? If I'm teaching you math, what does that mean? It starts to get deep. You know what I'm saying? So look how everything is being structured and how things are being given to you. Everything that's being given to you is to keep you away from what you need to know. If you knew from start, you wouldn't say, just give me, that for that. You would want your weight worth your energy. But then that would have to ensure that the person who has to pay you had the finance to back up whatever they needed you to do, worth the energy that you was putting out. See, some energy is costly more, because they're gonna work way more efficient, faster. So that it's a real price. It's a real universal price on dealing with the children of the Most High, because there's a lot of energy coming off, and it can be harnessed. It can be by your choice. But keep in mind, this is your choice. This is your choice. So when you go out here and you give yourself to somebody, just realize what you're doing. See, I'm sitting out here in the rain because I love the conductivity. There's always electricity in the air. So I sit out here and I get my charge up. You know what I'm saying? So then I know when I take that energy that I'm getting because I conduct it and I put it back in something, I know how to harness it between the functions of the body to make it work for the value. I know how to also take that energy and get into a flow and use it for my creative aspect of all the abilities that I'm capable of doing. I know how to separate that energy from that and use it to a value of healing and putting the focus where the knowledge needs to be. These are our capabilities as individuals, but we shouldn't be wasting it. We should be using it to get the body back in order, the whole body, because collectively we're a body. That's why Terrence saying we can come together. He know collectively we supposed to be connected. He knows that. That's why following the math and having the understanding, it starts to strengthen the value of what connectivity is. Even look at your body. We got all different types of colors and shades all over our body that serve different purposes. All over your body. It's all over you. It serves different purposes. But yet we can't come together to understand that we're one body because there's differences. And control has to be abolished, period. Has to be chucked out the window. I understand how some people want things to go their way, but naturally, the natural order of things is always going to back up the right way to do things. Divine don't mess up, we do. I ain't going to hold you. I'm just trying to show you something. Naga.